Well, welcome to the University of Lynchburg, and thank you for joining us for this evening's White Coat Ceremony. My name is Alan Moore, and I am the Director of the School of Physical Therapy. On behalf of my faculty and staff colleagues, we are honored and excited to present White Coats to the class of 2023 and formally welcome this group of students into our profession. We will begin the ceremony with an invocation offered by Davis Tarkington, followed by messages from University President Dr. Allison Morrison-Shetler and the Dean of the College of Health Sciences, Dr. Rusty Smith.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you all for coming and for those tuning in on the live stream. We appreciate you all. As Dr. Moore mentioned, my name is Davis Tarkington, and I have the honor of serving as president for the class of 2023. To begin this evening's ceremony, I'm going to be reading a creed titled The Optimist Creed. Thank you, Mom. Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. To talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet. To make all of your friends feel that there is something in them. To look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. To think only of the best, to work only for the best, and expect only the best. To be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. To forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. To wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile. To give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. To be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble.
Please be seated. Congratulations, physical therapy class of 2023. Woohoo! So there's the official part of this, and this has been a long time in coming, right? So we've canceled this event a couple of times. So I'm a great person that like to put things out on Facebook and on Twitter. So I really need a photograph of you. I usually sit out there so that I can do it sort of hidden-wise. I'm going to do it before we start. So I need a little bit of enthusiasm from the whole group. So come on, come on. Thank you. I'm Allison Morrison-Shetler. I am the president of the University of Lynchburg and a little wacky Scottish person. So just to let you know, it is with great delight that I welcome you and your families and friends to this milestone ceremony that has been a long time in coming. You are part of a fabulous program working with fabulous faculty and staff. And the program and your participation brings recognition to our university, our city, our Commonwealth, and our world, because you are changing lives. You are an inspiration. The practice of physical therapy is a great honor and comes with great authority and accountability and responsibility. We are proud of you, so proud of you, and all that you are achieving in this program. It's been some challenging times. I came in as president in the middle of COVID. Not what I thought I would be doing in the first year of my presidency. But these times, and during these times, you have persevered and you have worked with grit and with determination, and I'm so, so very proud of you. So I want you to continue to do great work, continue to make a difference, but take care of yourselves as well as others. So congratulations, and it is a great day to be a Hornet.
Well, good evening. Don't you guys good evening. That's better. Look at you guys, you look great. And she suggested that you become enthusiastic. She does not know you. To encourage that level of enthusiasm is risky. And we're here. And it's amazing to be able to see you all in person. Because you have to understand, when I first met you, you all were 2 inches tall. So was I, right? There are all these little aspects of our Google Meet. I am Rusty Smith, and I am privileged to serve as the Dean of the College of Health Sciences. I want to thank you, family and friends, for being here to support these fine students as they continue on with their dream. I had the distinct privilege to speak this evening to the significance of the ceremony. And so students, you know me, my expectation I want to be clear with is I want you to remember 2 words, only 2 words. Quiz tomorrow. The 2 words are identity and responsibility. Identity and responsibility. You see, this white coat ceremony marks an important step into the profession of physical therapy. After much hard work and preparation and a successful first year, right? You are now entering into a new role as doctor of physical therapy student. In a sense, donning, I love that word. Is that a Scottish word? Donning, who knows? Donning this white coat symbolizes your commitment to take on a new identity, and with that identity comes significant responsibilities to serve. Your new identity is going to be as a public servant, caring for those in need. And then your responsibility will be to meet those needs of those that you're caring for. You know how I like analogies, and so I was trying to figure out a nice analogy, and I woke up one morning, I don't know if you're like me, I do my best thinking first thing in the morning, right? And it's downhill from then. But nonetheless, I woke up and I thought, that's a great idea. And what I thought of, and I hope it in no way disrespects this long tradition of white coating students, but what I thought of was, in many ways, your coat, this white coat, is much like a superhero suit. You know, that's an outward sign of what, by putting that on, you are saying, I'm going to serve, much like superheroes. And what's exciting for me is, as a kid, superheroes were really cool. Reading comic books. And then after a while, as I grew up, it became really not cool to do superheroes. But you all brought it back. So superheroes are back. So I'd like you to think about who your favorite superhero is. And as you think of that superhero, they have an identity, and it's usually reflected in their suit. So my favorite superhero is Flash. I mean, even just saying the name, I want to run. And what's the emblem on his suit? It's a lightning bolt, right? Why? Because he's fast and as powerful as lightning. And so putting this suit on, this white jacket, white coat, will indeed be an emblem that you are going to take on a new identity and new responsibility. I remember a 9-year-old putting on a superhero suit once, essentially bright clothes and a towel as a cape. And this 9-year-old, crazy as he was, ran through his neighborhood late at night with a mission to protect his neighbors from danger. So I remember what that 9-year-old felt like is a new identity, taking full responsibility for the safety of others in that dark neighborhood. Well, I suspect you now realize that 9-year-old was who? Was me. Kind of weird to think of, right? Running through the neighborhood. I can tell you that no crimes were committed on that superhero's watch. So that superhero is proud of that. All this is to remind you that you are now putting on the white coat as a superhero suit. It's going to change your identity, and it's going to raise your responsibility. You are making a public commitment in front of your family, your friends, and your faculty to indeed take on that responsibility of caring for others and the responsibility of doing so. If you recall, during orientation some time ago, we talked about how the University of Lynchburg is student-centered and what that means. But if you recall, I also said, as the Dean of the College of Health Sciences, I support that sentiment, but there is someone more important to me than you. And it's not my wife, right? But it's that first patient. And you've heard that story from me over and over and over again, to the point that it's now in your mission statement. I'm getting goosebumps just remembering that when you all put that in there. So you continue to be patient-centered. It's no longer important whether you get an A. You're not just going to do just enough, but you're focusing in on that first patient that you will touch. They deserve a prepared superhero. So congratulations, yes. And remember that code represents a change in your identity and a much higher of responsibility. Please know that we are here to support you as you prepare for your mission as a superhero. Thank you.
They're tall. All right, so my speech starts off the way we've all heard a million times lately, because of COVID. Because of COVID, I was asked to limit the length of this speech. Under normal circumstances, I would talk in detail about the importance and symbolism of the white coat. However, this year, I was forced to go a different direction for the sake of being brief. So this year, I needed to find inspiration for a new, shorter speech. That means my typical plan of revising my annual white coat speech and adding a few wisecracks about Dr. Smith and Dr. Blair had to be scrapped for a new idea. So whenever I must give a new speech, I spend a lot of time considering what I should talk about that would be interesting to other people. Usually my best ideas seem to come in the middle of a 4-mile run or while I'm driving my daughter to soccer practice in Charlottesville. Unfortunately, in those cases, when I get to my destination, I've forgotten what I wanted to say. This year was a little bit different. You see, my wife is a high school math teacher, and every year at the beginning of the school year, she searches for inspirational quotes to encourage and motivate her students. This year, she turned to the internet's ultimate short-format video platform, TikTok. So while listening to my wife listen to TikToks on a family trip earlier this summer, I decided I will also share some TikTok wisdom with you this evening. Not surprisingly, I barely knew what TikTok was until that car trip with my wife and family. I'm pretty sure I'd heard of it, but I was resistant to get involved because like other internet fads, I was pretty sure it disappeared just as quickly as it had appeared. But it's here today, so my hope is that some of the TikTok wisdom will keep you focused and centered as you prepare to become physical therapists. Before I start, I want to be clear. None of these thoughts belong to me. I borrowed them all from TikTok. I can't take credit or blame for anything I'm about to say. And don't think this speech was easy to write. While perusing the TikTok app for inspirational messages, I was constantly sidetracked by videos of ingrown hair extractions, earwax removal, not to mention the milk crate challenge, which maybe we'll try later. I hear that's a bad idea. So here's some TikTok wisdom to help you on your journey. Sometimes you have to swallow your pride. We all love change when it's about changing others, but we're opposed to change when it's changing ourselves. Today is going to be a great day. Write your dreams down. Don't be afraid to go big. When I look at a person, I see a person, not a rank, not a class, not a title. It's not about you. The voice of fear will always be present in situations where there's an opportunity to be brave. Whatever you do, give 100%, unless you're donating blood. Whenever someone says you can't do it twice and take pictures. Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. You have exactly one life in which to do everything you'll ever do. Act accordingly. Live simply, love generously, care deeply, speak kindly, and leave the rest to God. Respect your parents. They passed school without Google. Life always offers you a second chance. It's called tomorrow. This one's good for PT. Regular exercise keeps you healthy. Use the stairs more often. Never let anyone treat you like a yellow starburst. You are a red starburst. That was a good one. Before healing others, heal yourself. The reason most people fail is they give up what they want most for what they want now. And just a few more. Choose to have a good day. Refuse to have a bad day. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It's very uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable if you want to be successful. Time is free, but it's priceless. Fail forward and learn from every mistake. And last but not least, failure is not final, it's formative. It is part of the process. It's part of the journey. Your failure matters as much as your success. Failure is an event. It's not who you are. Failure is fuel for your future. You have to fail in order to succeed. I hope a few of these thoughts resonate with you as they did with me. And I'd like to congratulate the class of 2023. We're excited to officially welcome you to our profession. And you can give yourselves a hand. So, congratulations. And now I have the honor to introduce the 2020, now it's my honor to introduce 2020 Lynchburg graduate, Dr. Nathaniel Doherty. Dr. Doherty practices locally in the Lynchburg area and is also an adjunct instructor in orthopedic courses. He's gonna talk some about his alumni experience, or student experience from an alumni perspective.
Good evening. As Dr. Warren mentioned, my name is Nate Doherty, and I am a local physical therapist here in Lynchburg. I also have the pleasure of being an adjunct faculty in the orthopedics course for the class of 2023. As a graduate of Lynchburg DPT myself, I understand the rigors of the program and what it takes to make it as far as you all have, and I'm sure it's a little sigh of relief to finally be receiving your white coats. I want to congratulate you on facing the challenges presented to you, not only from classwork, practicals, seeing your first patients this summer, but doing it all during COVID. Very different than when I went through it. I have a few pieces of advice I want to share with you that I've learned on rotations and early on in my career. Number one, it's okay to say I don't know. The human body is very complicated and there are very rarely black and white answers. I understand how it feels to want to help that patient in front of you and to have the perfect answer for everyone. However, it doesn't always work out that way. Being honest with yourself and your patient will be better in the long run. Number two, early in your career, you may not find everything on day one of that eval. That's okay. Focus on what is important to your patient, establish that therapeutic alliance, and that will set you both up for success. One of the greatest things about our profession is the time that we get to spend one-on-one with the patient and the relationships we build with each of them. Listen to understand instead of hearing to respond. Number three, never be afraid to ask questions. Find a mentor, whether in the clinic you work or elsewhere, that wants you to be successful just as much as you want yourself to succeed. We all will eventually be colleagues, and one day, if we continue to grow, our patients will benefit the most. Congratulations on all you've accomplished so far and continuing to succeed this semester. It has been my honor to work with each of you, and I look forward to continuing this journey, so I'll leave you with this. As you go out into the clinic again as students and eventually as new grad DPTs, continue to be lifelong learners, don't be afraid to fail, and never forget your why. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jason Grandio, and it is my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Gary Gellert. Physical therapy is a second career for Dr. Gellert, who spent roughly 18 years in the hospitality industry. He earned his master's in physical therapy from Nazareth College in 2003, followed by his doctorate from Virginia Commonwealth University in 2009. He has worked at Centra Health in various capacities and locations for the past 18 years. In 2013, Dr. Gellert transitioned into academia as a full-time assistant clinical professor for the program at the University of Lynchburg. In 2014, he earned his board certification as a cardiopulmonary specialist. And in his time at the University of Lynchburg, he taught in many clinically oriented courses, enthusiastically integrating his passion for critical care. In 2018, Dr. Gellert transitioned full-time back to Centra Health in a newly created role as the lead physical therapist for critical care. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Gary Gellert.
Congratulations, class of 2023. You made it. You're here with friends, family, peers, lovers, all excited that you made it, right? I would like to all to consider what it means to be a successful student. Does a successful student simply show up? Does a successful student do just enough to get by? Or does a successful student engage both inside and outside of the classroom, showcasing a definitive sense of eagerness to learn and apply new skills with a questioning attitude? In my opinion, a successful student is exemplified by the latter. They may not be the most gregarious individual. They may not be the most popular. Heck, they may not even get the highest grades. But they have a recognizable work ethic with a passion to make a difference. You would not be sitting here today if it weren't for your passion and dedication to learning your craft. This faculty and staff have created a curriculum and environment to support and challenge you, and I guarantee you will continue to feel challenged and supported. You are in this room today because you have earned a white coat. For that, I applaud you. In the next couple of years, you will earn a degree, and then you will take a test. Passing the test will allow you to practice as a licensed physical therapist, and you can finally choose how you will practice. Understand that the education you receive at the University of Lynchburg is intended to provide you with the foundational requisite knowledge to pass this test. How you practice as a licensed physical therapist is really up to you. Gaining a white coat, a diploma, and a license is something you will earn. It will not simply be handed or given to you. You will not simply receive any of these items. Passing this test will allow you to blend the art and science of healing and give you the opportunity to provide transformative care. So as a student and future clinician, your practice has the potential to define you. What will keep you motivated to become the successful student and clinician you strive to be? Why did you want to do this in the first place? I'm a firm believer that intrinsic motivation for caring doesn't come from a what, but rather a who. As a motivation, I suggest you consider who is your why. Best-selling leadership author Simon Sinek defines the why as your purpose, the reason you do what you do. Throughout your time at the University of Lynchburg and as a practicing clinician, I implore you to think not only about what is your why, but who is your why? Who is the person that encouraged you to follow your passion? Who is the patient, the family member, the friend or mentor that inspired you to become a sought-after professional? Let that person and your experience with that person guide your practice. Let that experience serve as an ongoing reminder to practice intentionally, regardless of setting. Similar to a successful student, I believe there's a difference between a physical therapist and a sought-after professional. A physical therapist shows up, works a shift, does the daily. You've all seen that person in the clinic. They're the one that uses ultrasound, followed by e-stim with a hot pack or a cold pack. They're put the patient on the news step for about 20 minutes to warm up for exercise. They're the person that takes the patient down the linoleum floor with a walker and 2 tennis balls on the back, 150 feet every single time. I believe that a sought-after professional engages with the patient to identify their individual functional needs. That must be the professional. The professional prescribes evidence-based activities and exercises to optimize those functional needs in order to attain patient-specific goals. I practice in the ICU. Glass-paned doors allow anyone to see what the patient and I are doing. If someone passing by were to look into that glass-paned ICU room, while you were working with a patient, would your practice define your profession? Do you think that the outsider could honestly say, Mom's working with PT? Or would they think you were a tech, CNA, a nurse, a rehab aide? Will you make your practice distinguishable? Will you be a physical therapist, or will you be a sought-after professional? I believe it's as easy as understanding your craft and remembering who is your why. Let me share an example. A 16-year-old male enters an emergency department with his parents. He reports having double vision, headaches, and unrelenting fatigue. Lab tests and clinical assessments were grossly benign, but imaging confirmed a 3-centimeter mass in the middle of his head. Off to a larger healthcare center, he and his family meet with a neurosurgical team in charge of performing a technique intended to emergently reduce the swelling in his brain. After surgery, this 16-year-old boy has 3 new holes in his head. One for creating a shunt to relieve the swelling. One used for the biopsy of the mass to guide future treatment. And one with a long drain coming out of its head as a safety mechanism if the new shunt were to fail. Thus begins his recovery. Here's how I picture this could look. Parents anxiously awaiting by the bed, unsure of the drain, the beeps on the monitor, or what all the lines are for. The family waits. The TV may or may not be on in this slightly dim room. Anxious and unsure, they wait for the nurse. They wait for the doctor. Bed rest is something that may or may not be prescribed for this individual. The parents have no idea what's going on, and their lack of knowledge and understanding leave them helpless. The reality is, this was my son 3 years ago, and I was one of his parents. My practice over the last few years has involved removing barriers to rehab. One of those barriers was that drain coming out of his head. In some facilities, that drain equals bed rest. Bed rest has the potential of limiting healing as well as other detrimental implications. Thus, in consult with the interdisciplinary care team, we did rehab. All meals were with the boy upright, either at the edge of the bed or with the support of the chair. He was encouraged to walk in the room, the halls, the hospital. He bathed, dressed, and played his ukulele. Fine motor skills, dual motor tasking. We played soccer, cards, and listened to music in the room. TV was turned on briefly in the evenings. The blinds were open during the day and closed at night. The bed was made during the day and room kept neat. All with that drain coming out of his head. These activities were intentional, evidence-based rehab techniques to promote healing and minimize potential functional deficits. In the ICU, my wife told me I had become known as PT Dad by his care team. My son is my who, and I use that experience as a constant reminder to do the best I can for the individual in front of me. My son is a reminder that the person in front of me is not just another diagnosis, room number, date of birth. That person in front of me is someone's son, daughter, mother, father, brother, sister, friend. My son reminds me that my care not only affects that person in front of me, but also the lives of the people that person touches, relatives, coworkers. My son is the smiling kid that trusted me to provide the best care I knew how. He is the reason I strive to be a sought-after professional in critical care, engaging and educating patients, families, and peers. My son is the reason I seek to reduce barriers to rehab and critical care. In my practice, my son is my why. So at this time, before donning the white coat that you have earned, I'd like to take 10 seconds for you all to remember, who is your why? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gellert. We now move on to the coding ceremony. And as is often the case, the audience is encouraged to hold their applause, but contrary to that, actually, we let you let loose and celebrate your loved one's accomplishment. And by celebrating them, also committing to them to be there as they continue through this journey. And so again, thank you for that. I think we're ready now. Austin Bennett. Hunter Bogert. Taylor Bogert. Chloe Bolin. Cody Bryant. We're a bunch of huggers around here. Riley Conrad. Julia Cowles. Logan Davis. Sydney Farley. Heath Hardiman. Syed Hashemi. Courtney Halloran. Brandon Horde. Kendall Holbert. Vincent Wynn. Austin Jackson. Kevin Kelly. Caitlin King. Kyle Kirby. Jenna Knaus. Malia Kremolish. Willie Merrow. Denise Martin. Rachel Mash. Jessica McQuaid. Christian Morales. Ian Nide. Harrison Norton. Cassandra Novak. Elizabeth Oden. Mackenzie Parcell. Ashlyn Paulette. Austin Pierpont. John Price. Logan Reichel. Morgan Rhodes. Julianne Seitz. Davis Tarkenton. Brandon Taylor. Pyle Thacker. Amelia Tilley. Jamie Vest. Benjamin West. Mallory Wolford. Brianna Wood. Christine Yancey. How about another round of applause for the class of 2023?
I think they're coming back. We'll give them just a minute. Do what? Any jokes? Knock, knock. No, just kidding. So is everybody having a good time? Here they come. Okay, now it's time for us to recite the professional oath. So if there are any physical therapists that would like to stand and say this oath with us and with the students, we'd ask you to stand as well. In the presence of my colleagues, friends, family, faculty, and in the view of the honored profession into which I am entering, I solemnly and wholeheartedly dedicate myself to the following. I embrace my responsibility and accountability to the individuals I serve, to the profession of physical therapy, and ultimately to society as a whole. I will practice physical therapy with compassion, patience, and empathy, recognizing the potential vulnerabilities in my patients and clients. I will place the welfare of my patients above all self-interest. I will preserve and value the dignity of those who seek my care and will respect them, the choices they make, and the confidential nature of our relationship. I will relate to other professionals, care providers, patients family members with respect and integrity in order to promote the best interests of the patient. I will not allow my judgment to be influenced by greed or unethical behavior, and I will expect the same of my colleagues. I will be a responsible steward of healthcare resources and participate in efforts to meet the healthcare needs of people locally, nationally, and globally. I will be humble and recognize my limitations. I will dedicate myself to being a lifelong learner, seeking to augment and expand my knowledge and the knowledge of my current and future colleagues through consultation, education, and research. I commit myself to the highest ideals of service, learning, practice, and professionalism for the betterment of society. Thus, with this oath, and upon my personal and professional honor, I freely accept all the obligations and many rewards which will accompany my practice of physical therapy.
Right, and you guys can return to your seat. Oh, wait, I'm being told now. Okay, stay here. That's what I meant to say. We have one more thing to go. So before Johnny Price offers his closing words, I want to invite the students and their guests to join the faculty and staff for refreshments in Schule Hall following the ceremony. The refreshments are provided through a generous donation by Medical Facilities of America. In addition, I want to recognize and offer a special thanks to Melissa Truman and Jane Brandon for organizing the ceremony and ensuring that everything ran smoothly. And thank you for attending today's ceremony. I'll let Johnny. Let's go, Johnny.
Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. My name's Johnny Price, and I have the pleasure of representing my class as Vice President. I would like to speak on behalf of the cohort and thank you all for attending today, but not only for attending today, but being there for us each and every day. We hope to continue making each of you proud, but more importantly, today signifies one step closer to finally being able to provide you all with the free therapy that you've been asking for. To conclude our ceremony, I'd like to read our class mission statement that was created during our first semester with Dean Smith, which represents where we came from, where we're going, and what our future holds as we wear these white coats. The mission of the University of Lynchburg's DPT 2023 cohort is to work collaboratively to develop future leaders who are dedicated to lifelong learning. We will strive to enhance patient well-being and to create a positive, lasting impact on the community, locally and globally. We will build lifelong patient and professional relationships, cultivating joy and excellence. Bravely facing the unknown, we demonstrate commitment to the profession through adaptability, resilience, and integrity. Thank you all for coming.